Hi everyone, it's Ethan McKinley. This is the 2-Minute Terminator, where we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. We are going from minutes 74 to 76, the 2 minutes bridging that gap, and we're off. Hit the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the fourth. Thank God. It sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
So,
I didn't even get a word in for that
you
intro.
tried to get a word in before the music started. You were like, what?
I was like, what's going on?
Today's bumper music is, of course, Basil Poledouris' sequel soundtrack to the sequel to the first film we did, Conan the Barbarian. This is Conan the Destroyer.
You got cheesy feet today.
Yeah.
You never have cheesy feet.
Well, I've
Ethan, what the hell's going on?
I've been working very hard, Ellie.
It's like a mild Emmental.
Thank you. I could have brought a massive wheel of cheese back last night. I just didn't have the anywhere to put it.
You ate a whole wheel of cheese? Oh,
Not
by
even
the way,
that.
my
That's
name's Ellie
amazing.
Fitzgerald. I am the co-host. I don't know why I'm raising my hand.
Everyone knows
'cause
who
no
you
one
are by
can
now. It's
see
all about
me.
me. You know this.
It is all about Ethan McKinley from Black Country.
Anyway, this is an interesting clip because it's basically the introduction of a new Terminator. So the clip starts with the 2 minutes bridging the gap, 74 to 76. It's Marcus Wright escaping being shot
From
and
New
attacked by John Connor. And it ends with basically John Connor fighting Snake Terminators. Yes, there's a new character introduced. Although it's not the best design, is it?
No, we've seen it before.
No, I know we've seen it. Yeah, but actually in action.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you know, this kind of sounds like the music in... did you ever see The Lord of the Rings, the animated
The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, hello. This is what Ethan hears in his head all day long.
No, this is the music that plays when Ellie runs with her little feet.
My little feet. Hey, I'm a bloody fast runner. What was I going to say? Oh, you threw me. Oh, yeah. Who does the music for Lord of the Rings, the animated one? Where it's kind of half animation and then it's half...
That's
real.
called rotoscoping, when they actually film actors doing something and then they draw animation over them. It's called rotoscoping. It's Ralph Bakshi. He did Felix the Cat.
Ah, get you. Yes, anyway, so we will start with this 2 minutes. My first question is, when Marcus stands up after being shot by John, bullshit Bale, why is he wet?
I actually thought that, and that's a very good question. I mean, they show the back of Marcus's head.
And he's all wet and...
I'm not sure if it's to denote he's been... that's an injury he sustained from the
My note literally
magnetic
reads,
mine on the leg.
why is Marcus wet? Did John shoot him with his plasma goo?
One listener will find that funny.
And that's me.
No,
why is he wet?
that's what I thought, but I forgot to actually make a note of that. But you're absolutely right. Marcus is completely soaking wet. I don't know. I think it's like a shot they've used out of sequence because they didn't have a shot of Marcus standing up because he's just been shot by John
But
Connor.
how difficult is that to film?
It's not. I think they just forgot to do it. And they thought we need an insert shot showing that Marcus is okay.
Bloody tardiness, that's what it is.
Well, no, because
I'm sick of it.
the mistake I think they've made is they didn't have Marcus get back up after being shot, so the audience thinks, oh, Marcus is dead. So then in this clip...
Marcus is going to die.
But Marcus winds up hiding in this river. But you don't see Marcus going into the river.
I know.
Uh,
Okay. It's a bit weird.
So
I was
yeah,
just
but
like-
one thing it does show is the back of Marcus's head. So at least we know at this point, even though we find out later in the film, his skull is metal as well.
I didn't remember that.
Basically, he's got an interface on the back of his head where you can like implement chips or commands and things, which he actually tears out in a later episode.
I
We'll come
have
to that. Go on.
I have a question for Spoldner. What is this thing that bullshit Bale shoots which creates a forest fire? Because all of a sudden it just goes...
Napalm.
What is napalm?
As far as I know, and what a loyal listener, he knows who he is, will write in and tell us exactly what it is. My understanding of napalm is it's like a very thick, gluey form of gasoline. So it sticks to everything like glue and just burns.
Ah.
You ever done a hot glue gun?
Yeah.
And you've got the end on your thing?
We used to glue gun our forefinger and thumbs together.
Yeah, I think napalm's like that on steroids, so it just flays the skin off your body and just keeps you burning. It's apparently a horrible death.
Yeah,
they used it
nasty.
extensively in Vietnam. That's, I guess. I mean, the imagery is taken again. Like, this film is so derivative. It's stripped directly
Why
out of...
hasn't he used that before? Because we were talking about the fact that their weaponry would be restricted due to the fact that this is kind of like post-Judgment Day. But that seems to be a pretty useful piece of kit. I'm surprised they haven't used this before. Trying to get Marcus. Like, if they'd done that when him and Moon Bloodgood were running around, they would have got him.
But again, they've literally only just escaped. To scramble a squadron of like helicopters or planes, which are fully equipped and like loaded to bear to go.
This is true.
That's going to take longer than 3 minutes.
Bullshit Bayer. What was I thinking?
But the image is taken straight out of Apocalypse
Compton?
Now. No, Apocalypse Now. And we've seen like news footage of like old scratchy pictures and like video images or film images of napalm being dropped in the Vietnam War. They're using the same helicopters. I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's a Huey, no? Bell helicopters.
So we then see Bullshit Bale fly the helicopter down to the water, and he asks his chum, and he goes, "Check the river!" With a flare?
Well, even beyond that, do you think it's...
They would have had a torch or something.
Well, not even that. Do you know, it's bad leadership. This is John Connor, and he flies the helicopter close to this river, and it's infested with like water terminators or snake terminators.
But just checking it with a
I
flare.
like this
mean,
clip.
it's
There's
so...
more going on, and there seems to be more mistakes than before. There was not a lot happening in the last 2 minutes.
I just thought a flare would not show you anything. And then he throws the flare into the water. I would have thought that as soon as it hit the water, it would extinguish the flare straight away.
No, because emergency, those kind of like signal flares are like waterproof.
Oh, see, yeah, I didn't know that. But also...
I mean, I've seen it in a million films, and you shouldn't trust movie
It's fuzzy
physics.
as F. Like, you can't see anything.
No, of course.
Why didn't he use the torch that's on the front of the helicopter?
I imagine also,
shine that
I mean,
down into the water.
You see the spray coming off the water, like as the rotor blades push down on
And
it.
look at all the smoke that comes out from the flares. I think that's the most ridiculous tool. And then
Actually,
he
you
sees
know what?
the red eyes.
Are
as
John
well.
Connor's leadership instincts actually that bad? Because like he's sending the guy to like lean over and like look into the water, and he's flying.
It's
the chopper.
like they say old men send young men to fight their wars for them, and they're never actually the ones in combat.
Chickenhawks.
Yeah.
We should gave me an Aldi meeting when we saw that Chickenhawk documentary, The Men Who Love Boys.
Oh, God. And what's that about, Ethan?
Weirdly, it's like a pro-paedophile documentary with actual paedophiles in, cracking onto young boys. If you type in, well, I'll put it in the show notes
The
of this
look
show.
on that guy's eyes goes, yeah, like, he was getting really excited.
Yeah, he was having all this like weird confirmation bias in his head. 'Cause he talked to a boy on the street about something. He's like, the boy was coming on to me. Did you see that? It's so weird. Really creepy. I'll put it in the show notes. We've actually covered it before in previous episodes if you just joined us, but it always rears its ugly head for
Just
some
joined us.
reason.
Where the hell have you been? What have you been doing? What the bloody hell's going on? Sticking to this particular scene where you've got the guys in the helicopter, and then poor matey boy gets dragged down, attacked and dragged down by the water terminator, which comes bursting out. The actors that are sat in the front two seats of the helicopter, as the dude gets pulled out, they don't even react. They just sit there. So that's a cock up. They just sit there, like facing forward, like nothing's happening, just in denial. So yeah, I thought that was a
It's
bit
just
of a
the design of the
cock-up.
snake. The snake terminators, I think.
They're not snakes, they're water terminators.
I just think the design ethic, perhaps, of the other things, I think it would look more like a snake or more menacing. I know, like, for practical reasons, a machine probably wouldn't design it that way. It should be just like an implement of doom. But
Ethan, I have
yes.
a very... I was really pleased with this particular question of mine. Sorry, it's just 'cause I'm looking down, because I like to mark off when I've read out my notes. See, organised and all that shit. Why is Bullshit Bale not using his new like signal scrambler?
Good point.
They could have just shut off all of these Terminators.
I know. But again, I would
That's
argue...
a glaring error.
I know, but in defence of the film, they've only just discovered this technology.
So? They're now dealing with a Terminator that's part man, part machine. Again, he's trying to run away. Why not even try to use that?
Well, I mean, a clever filmmaker
frequency
would have kept Marcus
disruptor?
under house arrest by having that machine on right next to him, and that probably would have just had him shut down.
Why aren't they using this new piece of kit they've got?
Mm.
In fact, does that even get mentioned? I mean, I'm sure it gets used. Oh, hello. I'm sure it gets used later on in the film, but I really don't remember. This is almost like I'm watching it for the first time again, but hey ho. So yeah, they could have just switched off those water terminators straight away. So all of this, that bloke wouldn't have died. So that's needless death.
That bloke. You're listening to an
bloke
English
over
podcast.
Also, another cock-up. The two water terminators that come smashing through the front of the helicopter. Well, one actually comes into John Connor's window, but then another one smashes up through the
dashboard,
front.
the cockpit.
Yeah. When the helicopter starts spinning out of control, you see the front of the helicopter, and there's absolutely no sign of any entrance of any water terminators to the front of the helicopter. So that's inconsistent.
Where's my notes? Hang on.
You don't have any, 'cause you
I do.
suck. I thought we could call this the Jaws episode purely because of the scene where John Connor is stood on the helicopter and it's sinking and he's like slowly getting up and he tries to save his mate. All I could hear was you doing the, oh God, what does he say? Jaws, the old seafarer.
I know. I never put on a life jacket on again, Chief.
As I was watching it, I just suddenly thought, oh my God, this is like Jaws but worse. He puts his arm in and he's like, grab my hand.
Alimony check goes into the water. Wife's in the water. Our wife.
Yeah, once you see blood start coming into the water, dude, it's over. You know it's over because he's trying to help his mate. He's like, take my hand.
Well,
It's
he's
just
not trying very hard. Well, he
like,
went for his face.
Yeah, dude, it pulls him in.
I don't know, my two issues really for this, is, I mean, apart from what you've expertly pointed out, is the Terminator snake design. And also, they're so easily dispatched with, like, conventional weapons.
Ah, yes, you say that, but they seem to struggle a bit when the two water terminators come through. See, look, he's just digging in the blood. It's like, mate, he's dead. If you can see that much blood in the water.
That much vino.
Oh, God, wine. Why would anyone drink wine? Wine. Yeah, I noticed that they had a massive struggle. I mean, the dude shoots that water terminator in the face, and it takes ages to die.
Mm-hmm.
But then John Connor, bullshit Bale, he fires a few rounds, and that's it, taken out.
No, I completely agree. They're too easily... I mean, all the Terminators in this film weirdly are dispatched with, like, regular bullets.
And
you could
also,
argue because they're less advanced, but it's still shocking to me that they're not using these laser weapons yet. I know it's early in the war, as we've discussed, but yeah, I just don't think bullets would cut it.
Also, do you not think that scene where
it took 4 men to hold it down?
I know. This is, yeah, it's ridiculous. Rubbish. What's that? Get rid of it.
Well, in the first two Terminator films, they were like... When I was watching Terminator 2 for the first time, I was like, how are they ever going to stop this thing? Nothing will kill the T-1000. And the same as in the first Terminator.
And it's only the liquid nitrogen that does it.
Every time they killed him...
Not the liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, I think he was
metal.
easily dispatched in the second one. It was so convenient having that like acid bath in Genesis. I think that's one thing I think it's a mistake also they make in The Walking Dead, as they did with the Terminators.
I've never seen The Walking Dead.
In the later Terminator films, the Terminators aren't as scary because they can be so easily damaged or dispatched. In The Walking Dead, it's if you get bitten or scratched by a zombie, you die and become a zombie. If it was in reality, if they were that kind of disease-riddled and infected, you wouldn't be able to fight a zombie because the smell would be making you throw up. Like, your eyes would be watering with the stench of rot. And anything that came off that zombie... Like, there's a scene where they escape the zombies. So they get a dead zombie, and they cover these kind of, like, ponchos with, like, zombie guts.
Yeah.
And they walk out into the
I'm a
street.
zombie.
They walk out into the street and they're not bothered by the zombies. Now, the skin absorbs things. If you have cyanide on your skin, you'll die. If you have any kind of poison on your skin, you'll get sick. Why is it that you'd have a disease-ridden zombie having any parts of its anatomy or like innards or guts or all this diseased tissue on your skin and it wouldn't absorb any of that and you'd die and turn into a zombie? And I think you could really make a zombie even more scarier by adding this disease element to it. 28 Days Later touched on it. That they'd like vomit blood and shoot it at you like a snake venom.
But they were more like vampires, weren't they? They were like...
No, they're like zombies. Well, they didn't say zombie, they called them infected.
Yeah, but they had those weird pointy teeth.
No.
Is that, am I thinking of the same film?
You're thinking of something else. 28 Days Later is the 2002 Danny Boyle film. about a post-apocalyptic London. This disease has broken out. It's a bit like...
oh, no, I haven't seen that. What's the one you showed me?
It's like Day of the Triffids meets Night of the Living Dead. And The Walking Dead kind of stole the idea when he wakes up in a hospital after all this has happened into this like new world, this new post-apocalyptic world.
What's the one you showed me where it's all like ice and snowy and they're all in this town?
30 Days of Night.
They're the vampires.
All right, there's
zombies.
28 Days, which is a Sandra Bullock alcoholic drama.
God.
There's 28 Days Later, which is a zombie film. There's 28 Weeks Later, which is a sequel to that zombie film. And then there's 30 Days of Night, which is the vampire film.
But that's like vampires / zombies.
And then there's 13 Going on 30, which is a Jennifer Garner body swap comedy.
God.
Oh, and there's, is it 3 Years in Tibet? That's the Brad Pitt film about Buddhism.
God, that sounds terrible. I bet Jolie put him up to that.
It's before he met her.
Yeah, I definitely would have chosen Jolie over Aniston. But I don't know. I think Jolie, she's a bit of a shit person. She just seems really wet and really like.
Who? Aniston?
Well, no, both of them.
I
think Angelina, when she was younger, would have been awesome, but now she's all like
Earth Mother.
Yeah, all that rubbish.
This Terminator film, Ellie, along with Terminator 3. This sequel.
Is this
rather.
trivia or a cock up?
Yeah, but I was going to sneak it in.
But it means I don't get to do my noise.
I've got some trivia for you, Ellie.
Trivia.
This is the first film and the only film of the Terminator franchise to be released in the same decade as the previous one. Because Terminator 1 is 1984, Terminator 2 is 1991, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines is 2003, and in 2009 we had Terminator Salvation 6 years later. Now I've got some cock-ups for you, Ellie. Would you like some cocker-uppers?
Cock up.
The amount of hair damage to Marcus's face. Hair damage? The damage on Marcus's face keeps changing during the face-off between him and John.
Oh.
And weirdly, actually, I've seen it. It's coming up in one of the clips, not this one, but the next few episodes. When John gets attacked by the CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger, he has a cut on his face, the same shape, on the same cheek that Marcus has as well.
Very weird.
So I'm not sure what symbology that means. And I've tried to look it up and I couldn't find anything. But they've got a very similar scar in the shape of a Y. It's like a Y-shaped cut. I've got some more cock-ups for you, Ellie.
Cock up.
In the sequence where Marcus walks across the river, you can spot the water pump that is supposed to set the water in motion. Due to this, it looks more like a fountain than a river.
You're right there. Your voice faltered a little.
I was just having a bit of I just drank, listeners, a litre of celery.
Of death.
Kale.
In liquid
spinach, a whole lemon, a piece of ginger.
And some blueberries.
And I didn't learn my lesson yesterday because at midnight...
It looks like diarrhea with seeds in it.
Basically, yeah, I was working last night and at midnight I was like, I need to go to the toilet. And literally it was like an exorcism.
What else did you do last night, Ethan? If you don't say it, I'm going to.
All right. I kicked boots with a fetish model. Is that a way of putting it?
Try and make it sound sexy.
Or she's a nude model.
She's not a fetish. What is fetish about her?
What is she then?
She's just...
Let's just say...
I think the modelling she's actually done is hair modelling.
Okay, well, let's just say...
But she's done some...
On camera, she looks great.
She's done some glamour shots, but she's not fetish.
All right, on camera, she looks great, though, right?
In some... I think she's got great face and great tits. The rest, I have always said, for me, it's a no. But that's because I'm very small. But you're a big guy.
No, I'm on the other... For you.
Of course.
Of course.
No, that's
If I take that off, will you die? It'll be extremely painful. You're a big guy. For you. If I take off that bra, will I die? It'll be extremely painful.
But yes, so now that you're on the other side.
Now we're on the other side of the dark mirror that was last night's encounter. I agree with Ellie, wholeheartedly, and we'll just leave it at that. In the words of Ford Fairlane, who does all the work in bed?
She was a total pig.
But I fucked her.
Oh, God. We're going to hell. But hey, like you said, it's all for the story, baby.
It is all, yeah. I did.
Do you have any more cock-ups?
I actually don't. But again, coming back to it, John is meant to be the
Oh,
future
that
leader of the
scene.
Resistance
So
when the helicopter crashes into the water.
is that not just like the real footage from the Twilight Zone when those two
it
Vietnamese
isn't.
kids? It's just like that.
I'll actually put this on. If anyone doesn't know this, John Landis famously directed Ivan Reitman did Animal House. I always get that wrong. But he wrote or produced parts of it. Or produced it. Or wrote it.
No one cares, Ethan.
No one cares.
Carry on with the story.
Basically, John Landis made The Blues Brothers, American Werewolf in London. He did Into the Night, my favourite film ever. Although I can't physically answer why that is. I have no idea. I'm drawn to it. He did Coming to America. He did Trading Places. Some of the best comedies of the 80s, basically. He also was one of the kind of anthology directors in the Twilight Zone, the movie, the 1983 film. The section he directed was about this racist bigot who, like, turns a corner, walks out of a bar, and he wakes up in Nazi Germany, basically. And all the Nazis and all the people in the town see him as a Jew, and he's persecuted. He becomes the very
He's trying to
thing.
run away.
He's running away from himself, essentially. And in the end, he gets captured. But throughout this like mini-sode of the film, there's 4 stories. He rescues. He gets shot off a roof by a Nazi Panzer captain. And as he falls into a river, and then he winds up in Vietnam. And then he's seen as the Viet Cong, and he's got soldiers shooting at him. Then, so basically, it's a morality tale where he understands what it's like to be on the receiving end of his racism. And the Vietnam section, he rescues basically 2 young children that are going to get bombed and killed by the GIs. And as he's crossing the river with these 2 children, in the film, it all carries on fine. He rescues the children. In reality, Vic Morrow, the actor that portrays this character, who's actually the father of Jennifer Jason Leigh. If you remember Single White Female, she's the nutty female in that.
Yeah.
That's her dad. But Vic Morrow was a famous kind of like character actor from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Basically, he's hit with a helicopter. There was a pyrotechnic problem, and the stuntman was flying too low to the stunt. An explosion went off, and it hit the rear rotor, the thing on the tail of the helicopter that stops it from spinning along with the blades.
And this is real life, by the way. This isn't for the film.
So
this
they got these
happened.
2 children who weren't actors. The parents were on set. They're non-union, so they were kind of illegally on the set, employed as actors. And he has to carry them under one arm each, like you said
Across
Marcus
this
Wright
river,
should in the
yeah.
last episode when he carried Moon Bloodgood. And as he's crossing the river, in this morass of like...
It's the most freakish accident you've ever seen.
In this like morass of like upward spray and rain and all the like the choppy waters and things.
I'm being shouted.
Basically, listeners, this helicopter crashes, and all 3 of them were killed. Basically, hello.
Oh, I like what you've done with the broom.
Come in. We're on air.
We're on air.
That's right.
But yes, we will party next time.
So yeah, basically, Vic Morrow was hit with a helicopter. The stuntman kind of lost control of the helicopter. He goes plowing right into the middle of this river. And they're hit with the rotor blades of this helicopter, basically shredding them. You can see this footage on YouTube. You can see distance footage of like the documentary of the film being made, and the helicopter actually, you see it spin and hit the sea, and it hits where they are. There's a close-up of the actual movie cameras that they were shooting for the film, and they're just running, and then all of a sudden, they're completely gone. And these rotor blades decapitated and cut in half Vic Morrow. The children were like shredded to bits as well.
I swear their heads came off.
There was a massive inquest. John Landis got away with this because he wasn't technically responsible. I think he escaped a manslaughter charge. He was directing the film. But he was responsible for things on set. I think the person who had their collar felt most. But I don't think anyone actually went to prison. It was kind of like... I'll have to look up the case, but I don't think John Landis went to jail. And the first film he made after Twilight Zone, the movie, in 1983, was 1985's Into the Night.
Oh, wow.
And he was asked about it in an interview or a podcast. He got really funny going, why are we talking about this? This is so weird. Look, that's over for me. I'll try and find it for you. But
Yeah,
I will put on the Vic Morrow footage, and I'll put portions of the case up for you in the show notes. You can find them, Josh of Twitter, on our Facebook page. But yeah, check it out. It's so bonkers though, and
it's insane.
he got
But
away with it
that
basically and
particular
continued
scene
making
where you
films.
see the helicopter like and all the fire around spinning into the water, it made me think of that.
But yeah, it is the most bonkers, freakish accident ever. It's like of all the places the helicopter's going to hit. It's not like Captain
Literally
America when
all
Bucky crashes helicopter.
When
The blades
'cause they
miss
show
Captain
it
America.
From many different angles, and there's one of them where they like slow it down so much you can literally see the heads fly from the body.
Yeah.
So messed up.
So
Anyway,
is that chick up for a 3-way?
maybe.
I was kidding.
Why would you want to?
Hey everyone. I was just going to say thank you all for listening. We will be back on Wednesday, which will be tomorrow for you, and we'll have some more jokes, some
Little
tragedy,
gems.
some comedy dell'arte, and we'll be back with episode 38.
Haven't we just done 38?
Yeah, we have. I'm just kidding.
So
We'll be back with episode 39 of the 2-Minute Terminator, going from minute 76 to 78. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Soon we'll be into the Sarah Connor Chronicles. And coming to the end of this podcast in about 3 months. Oh, what are we going to do? But we are planning on doing a different podcast where we can chat shit legally and not get all the fans upset of Terminators when we stop talking about the Terminator films, which is what we're famous for. We are the redheaded stepchild of all the minute podcasts, apparently.
Because we do 2 minutes as opposed to 1.
Yeah, we're not considered canon, if you will. But I like to think.
I like that we're different. I like that we do 2 minutes.
Well, I like podcasts more like what we do as opposed to, you know, the lighting on his ear is really good. We do that as well, but I think the other podcasts kind of follow that template, and that's fine because I listen to them all anyway.
Yeah, you love them.
But you have to do your own thing, don't you? If you're rid of a cheeky monkabout boy.
But I think that's what makes it good, though, when you are just yourself. It's when you try and pretend. It's like there were a few episodes where you were just deadly serious and you were just spouting out facts. And I listened back to it, I was like, God,
no,
that
but
was
I think of
dull.
all the seasons we've done, this has been the most Terminator. Yeah, episeasons. This is the most Terminator-centric one, you think?
Yeah, but I think we've had a really good balance of mucking around and doing. But anyway, let's stop giving ourselves our own. We'd all like to write our own reviews. But yes, do find us on Facebook, on Twitter, SoundCloud, iTunes. Write a review, tell your friends, share, like, retweet, all that jazz. And Ethan's got sucked into his phone, so I'm going to sign the show out. Strap on, strap off.
Go.
So thank you so much for listening. I've been Ethan McKinley. I've just done all that.
But you were on
your phone. I literally just did all of that. No, come on.
If you want to follow along with the clip we're actually watching, you can see it live as we talk over it on repeat on the YouTube channel 2-Minute Terminator. So please go there. Please subscribe and check it out. I know Josh has been looking at them. I think you have, Josh. And yes, I'd like to thank Back to the Future Minute, who are our friends now. And we're going to unite all the podcasts.
Friends! Sorry.
But we're basically going to do an episode with them in the next couple of weeks. Me and Ellie are going to guest on Back to the Future Minute, so we're going to do like a week's worth of podcasts with those guys.
Can you imagine the notes I'll make on that?
Oh, you better make some notes. You better be serious. Yeah, thanks for listening. Hasta la vista,
baby. Come on then, there's these few brief moments.
Now it's me to reach for the off button, so I can talk and reach the off button because I know how to control my mic.
She was a total pig, but he fucked her.